morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, it's time we got around to talking about Exploud, and that might not make much sense yet, but in just a couple of moments it will. We need to look at a new Loudred card and a new Exploud card, and as you'll see, we don't really have any choice but to look at them in the same video. They are very much coming as a pair. Our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. This is the return of an old attack archetype, call it what you will, but I think it's important to note as we start this video, this is not the whole story. So if we start off with Loudred, then we got 100 HP stage 1, which is fine. It's going to evolve, it's alright. Retreat cost of 2 does give free retreat with Air Balloon. Weakness to fighting is super annoying because of things like Vikavolt and Eternatus that share a weakness, which means that people are going to be playing fighting, which means they're going to end up going after you, which is very sad. And being a colorless Pokemon means you have powerful colorless energy, which is quite nice, means you do an extra 20 damage, although as we're going to see in a minute, you're never actually going to use that, unfortunately. And yeah, the basics here aren't inspiring. And the free energy 50 damage, yeah, sure, you can use it for a triple acceleration energy, but if you're putting a triple acceleration energy on a stage 1 to do 50 damage and not be hitting for weakness, I think something's gone drastically wrong. No, ladies and gentlemen, double colorless energy. This attack does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has the round attack. And of course, it's called round. Oh. Round is back. And you know what? This is alright. I mean, look, it's a stage 1. It's 2 energy, so blatantly what we're doing here is twin energy. It is important to note if we're deck. So essentially you play 4 twin energy, 4 triple acceleration. You could use stuff like welder and fire energy. That would absolutely work. But if you play properly, 4 twin energy, 4 triple acceleration should do you quite nicely. And let's assume you've got 6 Pokemon in play, and let's assume that all of your Pokemon 20 for a twin energy on a stage 1. Now this isn't perfect, and as we're going to see when we get to Exploud, we clearly don't want to use this. But as an, I haven't got a stage 2 out yet, it's early in the game or something's gone wrong or whatever, I need an attack just for now, I need something to tide me over kind of attack. This is cool. It's not a reason to play it. You're not going to play a Loudred deck, let's be clear. But if you're playing Exploud, we'll get there, this is actually a nice little backup attacker. But let's talk about Exploud, because clearly this is all about Exploud. 160 HP is rather large. It's kind of standard for a stage 2, but it's still quite big. Retreat cost of 3 means you can use Air Balloon, but it will go down to a retreat of 1, not free. But you can't use buff padding, boo, escaping, which means you're not hitting anything for weakness, though you do still get powerful colorless energy. But what is far more important is that it's got the attack round, but this is way, way better. 2 colorless energy. This attack does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has the round attack. Oh, well this, ladies and gentlemen, is all kinds of better. This is a significantly, significantly better attack because you're doing 50 times. Now let's assume that you've got 6 Pokemon in play, and you've got all of them with the round attack. Now you're doing 300 damage for a double colorless energy or a twin energy. All the difference, ladies and gentlemen. That makes a huge, gigantic difference. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous, and I'm kind of loving it. It's a huge amount of damage. Now, it's not just 300 for 2 energy on a single prize Pokemon. It kind of is, but only when you've got... You come against something like a Pikachu and Zekrom, for instance. 5 Pokemon with round 250, down goes Pikachu and Zekrom. But this means you can get a one-hit KO on something like an Arceus and Alga and Palkia. And the really important thing to note here is that, yes, you do have to have an Exploud. And you have to have the energy on. But it's not like we're asking for 6 Pokemon with stage 2 round. Basics or stage 1s will do fine. And this is where we need to mention the whole we don't have the full story. Because we don't have the full story. We need something more. Now, what we really want is the Whismur that came around in Fates Collide. Now, the Whismur in Fates, now that maxes out at 60 damage unless you're getting an extra bench space somewhere, which is not really viable at the moment. But no one cares about Whismur doing damage. The whole point of Whismur is that it is a basic Pokemon with Round. So if you can get a bunch of basic Pokemon with Round, then all of a sudden you've got a Stage 2 and 5 basic Pokemon on the bench, and you're doing 300 damage in the reveal video today, so we don't know if it's got Round or not. But we're kind of crossing our fingers that it does. For anyone that's wondering, was 50 times, incidentally, and we had the Whismur in Fates Collide, but this is the first time we've actually had a Loudred that's got the Round attack. So that is something we need to bear in mind. Maybe they'll give it to the whole line, maybe they won't. We did previously see it with a Seismitoad line, and in Noble Victories we got Seismitoad and Palpitoad with Round, though interesting to note that the Seismitoad was 30 times, and we did get a Tympole, that had Round, but we didn't get a Tympole that had, though we did eventually have that entire line. That is quite important to note. But we also had Meloetta. And Meloetta was very, very cool. Meloetta was a basic Pokemon that had Round. Now, Meloetta did give up 2 prizes and only have 110 HP because it was an EX, which did kind of suck. But it was a basic Pokemon that did 30 damage for each Pokemon with Round, but more importantly, it was a decent HP basic you could whack on your bench. And that's what we need here. We need, oh, I should mention there was also a Wigglytuff that was 20 times. We need to be able to have basic Pokemon like Whismur, like Tympole, like Meloetta. Ideally, what we really want is a Pokemon that can search out Pokemon that have Round. That would be kind of awesome. Because the other thing we need to bear in mind with an attack like this, it's all well and good saying, well, I'll just get 6 Pokemon with Round on my bench. Fine. Let's hope you haven't played as a Dene to help get you set up in the early game. Let's hope you don't want something like Chinchino on the bench. You see, not every deck, but most decks around at the moment need these support Pokemon in order to get. So use non-GX, non-V Pokemon. You can use Scoop Up Net. Yeah. But then you've got to get the support Pokemon out, then you've got to find the Scoop Up Net, and then you've got to find the other Pokemon with Round, and it all gets a little bit more awkward. And I suppose my conclusion is this. On the one hand, 50 and it's great. On the other hand, we do actually have a bunch of, although I am assuming more will be revealed from this set, hold tight, I think it's very likely that's going to happen. And 3, even if we've got plenty of Pokemon with Round that we can play, don't forget that that means we're not having Pokemon to support. We're only playing Round Pokemon. And that might end up being awkward. With a reprint of something like Skyfield that lets you have 8 bench spaces, that would be awesome. Because even if your opponent gets rid of Skyfield and you get down to 5 bench, you can discard your support and keep your Rounders. If we get a whole bunch of other Pokemon with Round and something like Skyfield, yes. Ever so slightly apprehensive here, because there is every possibility that this is not actually going to end up being quite as good as it might otherwise be. Having said that, I would love to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to be wrong. For now, I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill 3 Wassies. I ain't saying this is a bad card, and we don't have that support now. If we get that other support, things are going to change very, very quickly. Still, 200 for a Twin Energy. That ain't terrible. But I want to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comment section.